Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Friday. This is the Little General, Michelle Forrester, for Create and Play. I'm presenting vision boards, why and what. I'm a big fan of vision boards. I've been using them for many years. What I love about vision boards is it reminds me of kindergarten, where we used to have great times learning how to use the scissors and the paste, the cutting out, the sticking down. It's a great exercise to do and a lot of fun. So I hope you'll enjoy this series on vision boards and you'll get stuck into it and get nice and dirty with it. Today I'm going to discuss a little bit about how I use Pinterest to actually collect a lot of the elements of my vision boards at this point in time, and some of the methods I've used in the past and why I do believe they are powerful. Now, many years ago, I read a book called Creative Visualization, and that's where I started thinking about the law of attraction, which became a book known as The Secret, which is quite well known. And I then started to every year make sure that I created a vision board for what I thought my year would be for work and for play. Since then, I've gone on to do many vision boards and collate information for vision boards that I'm yet to even create. Visualization is such a strong, powerful thing to do. So it might, I might be thinking back to this esoteric time where we're into our self-help books, etc. But since then, a lot of people have done psychological studies on how the brain works. So one example that I think I got reminded of at the gym recently was that, you're going to lift a heavy weight. You're better off visualizing yourself lifting that weight first, in your mind's eye, taking a deep breath, imagining what you're about to do before you do it, and then you just go for it and you achieve. I think they've done tests on how the brain pattern changes when people do that, and they can actually lift heavier and stronger than they thought they were even capable of without the visualization. There's just so many stories out there about it, so I encourage you that anywhere that you have come across this presentation, that you make your comments. Tell us about your experience of using visualization and your experience of creating your own vision boards. So from those early experiences of cutting and pasting, what other reasons would we have a vision board? I mean, we all think, feel, like to touch. There's nothing better at keeping your focus than having something in your face every day to remind you of why you're getting up in the morning. We can look at our family photos and think back to beautiful memories. But imagine wanting to, say, take your son somewhere and you haven't quite got there yet. Having a vision board with a picture of him smiling and, say, a picture of Disneyland if that's where you want to go, and knowing that you've got certain things you need to achieve to get your child there. That's an example of how you could, in a very basic way, use the vision board. Now, you might want to put deadlines to that and time frames, that this year, you might put the words in, this year I will go to Disneyland with my son, and we will spend 3 days there having an amazing time. So you're really setting that intention. It's there in front of you every day in whichever format that you want. And every day you can look at it and keep your focus and your excitement that this is what I am questing for. That is what we're aiming for. A lot of people do talk about the law of attraction and how our beliefs shape our experiences. So this is why the process of vision boarding, I think, is so important, because it's taking that time to really think about what you want as you're creating the board. So I do this over several steps, and the first one, of course, I mentioned is that I'll show you the way I do it now with Pinterest. So it's every time I'm looking for some information to add to that board, or I come across something that inspires me, that I know I'm going to use in a vision board at some point, or want the choice of using in a vision board at some point, I'm thinking about what it is that I'm wanting to achieve. So to me, it's like a meditation. That's why I love Pinterest. I love how people say, oh, it's such a distraction, don't give me another social media to get distracted by. But I actually think of all the social media, to sit down and be distracted by um, this, lots of data. It's the best lot of data to be distracted by, as far as I'm concerned, because you take yourself on a journey through the information, and it's the information that you want to see, not what Facebook or the different algorithms or whoever's sponsoring something today. It's not being pushed on you. You're being pulled towards it. Just like what you want to achieve in having a vision board. You're wanting to attract and shape your own future. Okay, so what have I done in the past is I have done your classic cork board, and I've had lots of magazines, and I've had bits and pieces I've collected over time. Sometimes I'll have that cork board up on the wall for a while, and I'll just be collecting bits and pieces and sticking it down. And when it comes time to actually create the vision board, I will then grab those elements, lay them out, cut out more bits and pieces, stick them down in an order. And some examples of what I've done in the past is, say, for holidays, like I mentioned before, say for taking your child to Disneyland, grab pictures of the actual people that you want to have there, have a picture of the destination, even have a picture of the amount of funds that it's going to take to get you there. I've done all sorts of things in that regard. A classic one that I recently found that reminded me of why it is so important to have vision boards is that a Facebook memory popped up, and it showed these beautiful fans in Laos. And I looked at it and I did a double take, thinking, I don't remember posting my vision board to Facebook. And then it dawned on me that was the photo I took in Laos. And I went back to the vision board, and sure enough, I almost had the exact same colours. I could have taken that photo 10 times that day, different colours, a different look and feel, different light, but it was almost identical to the photo that I'd taken from a magazine years before of somebody's trip to Laos. To me, that just symbolised the power of it, that my eye was even drawn in reality to what I had been visualising for years of what I wanted to see in reality. And I went for it, and there it was, as proof that visualisation works. So after the creation of your vision board, now some of you may love having that big, sticky mess up on the wall, but I tend to scan everything, and then I will be able to have a soft copy with me. I can put it on my desktop and have it as a screensaver. I can have then several boards that change over time. Some people use programs and put music to it and then watch that every morning religiously as they do some meditation or some breathing exercises. I've been known to take that soft copy and then print them to lots of little stickers and stick them in lots of different locations, whether it be my diary for the year, the inside of a binder that I may be touching frequently. Say, for example, a bills folder, when you're sitting down to do your monthly accounts, you might then open that up and go, why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I want to achieve X, Y, Z. So it just helps keep the perspective. I've mentioned the screensaver. Oh, the photos. I love printing them to like 5" by 7". So even though I could do a massive A3 vision board, or I could even do it bigger, if I've taken a photo of it and then shrunk it down to a particular size that's easy to have, say, in the inside of my wardrobe in a frame, or a series of photos stuck up on the wall, there's just so many ways you can use it. You're just going to think what suits you. And I encourage you to Google vision boards and have a look at what other people do and be inspired. Or you'll find it here on Pinterest. So let's get into Pinterest and I'll show you how I use that. So here we are. This is the Little General's Pinterest page. By now, if you haven't got a Pinterest account, I'm sure you've seen Jessica's fabulous tutorial on how to set up your own Pinterest account. And in it, she explains how to create your own board. Now, I keep most of my boards secret. I don't feel there's a need to share on Pinterest with other people. If I was doing something promotional through Pinterest, of course, it would be out there. So I'll take you through a couple of boards that I've got that in some ways have become their own vision boards in their own right. And I don't feel the need to actually print them out. I think I mentioned before how I find the process of just going through Pinterest useful in terms of creating, this visualization and intention. And so this is where, first of all, I'll show you how I've used them to create this Fridays program, for example. So for a long time, I had it written down or sketched out in a piece of paper, which I'll try and find and attach it somehow to this presentation, wherever you may find it. And I had all of these different themes: busy women's business, create and play. As time frames, I had the restore and transforms. I've got the mate and mentors. There you go. There is create and play. Let's take a look at that. And I had it there on the wall. And every time I wanted to go back to it, I thought, oh, it's on the wall. Why haven't I got a soft copy of it? And then I was playing with Pinterest, and I thought, well, why don't I create the boards? And here we are. So in starting off with the concepts, you can see that I've just got a few items here for create and play at the moment. And it's just things that inspire me, whether it be the actual things that we could do in a create and play session, or some inspirational pieces that we may end up using as promotional items in social media, on Pinterest, not Pinterest, on Instagram or Facebook and such. So that's how I first started using it. So here's a great one for, busy women's business here. So a lot of words, in nice fonts. I'm a big fan of fonts, always been into the typography. I think if I could have found a full-time job when I left school as a typographist, I would have done it. But this is the beauty of Pinterest, is it's not just about that screenshot or that picture that's jumping out at you. It's the fact that you can go in and dive into it further. You can get more information. Okay, 14 Actions for Success by Women CEO Project. It's giving you some great words there that you can jump into and delve into further. Okay, and then what I love about Pinterest is this then ability for it to then show you more like this. So this is where the visuals start coming in. So you'll start to find pictures that it's not just about the words, but it's the visuals that go with the words. So let's do a bit of a working example now before I let you go off and get your Pinterest boards ready. And then we can sit down next week and go for next session, depending if you're going to do this on a different date. It's not Friday and not in real time with us. Let's take a look at how we can put together a board as an example. I'm going to create a board, and I'm going to share it with Jessica. She's on here. All right. Jessica M. Isaac. So we're going to do one together for our Fridays. Let's invite Jasmine too. They're going to be here in real life doing some of these boards next session. Maybe we can bring along some of these others as well. So I love that it's created this board with collaborators, because I'm all about the collaboration, as some of you know. So now that we've got our board, go back to here. Oh, I didn't call it anything. That was a bit silly. Anyway, diving through here, just as a little aside, you'll see how, this is a good one. See how I've got more visuals in here? It's called cinematic. See, all the dresses are very theatrical and cinematic and in a particular colour. And the brooding shots. I think I was wanting to do a cinematic life drawing class, so I was gathering inspiration for that. It's a bit of a vision board for when I would go to that class. I haven't gotten there yet, Tim Cow. He is an amazing artist who was running these workshops. I hope he still is, because I've got a vision board, Tim. I have to tag you in this later. So there's a good array of visuals. So this would be handy, I think. Well, let's say that I want to get married again. That looks like a great wedding dress. So I could potentially cut this out and add it to my vision board, if that's what I was after. Okay, so there's an example of some of the visuals that you can get on Pinterest. Now let's go into finding that collaborative board that I created. Where the hell it's gone? I might just pause and find it. Okay, I'm back now. I've created a board called Flexible Work because Jasmine's done a great content piece on the way that we work here in our organisation, working anywhere. So imagine now, if you will, that you're a person that would like to be able to work anywhere, anytime, wherever you choose, not where your boss chooses. Or, you know, if you're lucky enough to, you know, not allow the services that you offer to dictate where you work. So, you know, we use an example of somebody who can, you know, do their work anywhere on one of these great little Surface Pros. So a representative of doing flexible work might be that I want to be able to work at the beach. So let's go for it here. We just type beach up here into the little search bar, and it's going to bring up a whole lot of stuff. Now, what you could do is look through some of these items and go, yeah, look, that's pretty inspiring, but does it really mean working at the beach? So why don't we type in working at the beach and see what comes up. You can be that specific. You can be generic, just beach, or you can be even more specific. I want to be working at the beach. What are we going to find? We're going to find anything that's going to inspire us here. That could be, you know, this one down here could be a good one because it might be, I want to be sitting on that sort of swing, sitting outside, looking at the beach, and I want to be sitting with my laptop. Okay, let's have a look. You might want to be doing yoga classes on the beach, perhaps. Here we go. Maybe you're having a picnic at the beach while working. So you might want to pin something like that. So let's see if I can find something a bit more, you know, with a desk perhaps. Let's see. You can see how you could be doing this for a while, just for fun. Maybe try desk at the beach. There we go, that's a good one. So what we're going to do is go save, and we're going to choose our board. So you can see how many different boards I've got. So I can actually search for flexible work, and it's now saved to that board. Okay. It also promotes you or prompts you to also put it into, you know, other areas. Okay. So we'll leave it at that for flexible work for the desk at the beach. Other places you might want to have is, say, cafe work. And see what comes up. Okay, it might be that I want to sit there and have some delicious food. I could, whatever's going to prompt me to do that. So just cafe and work is a bit too generic. So working on a laptop at cafe. Let's try that and see how specific we can get. There we go. You could put your own face over hers. There's a good one for flexible work. So let's save that into our flexible work. And you can see how the top choices, it remembers what you're working on. So if you're being really focused on a topic that you want, you can do that. Here's another great one. Let's save that in there. So we're just collecting anything that appeals to us visually, or even ideas that come up that prompt what we're going to be putting in our vision board. You know, it might be that you know, something left of center comes up. Let's have a look for something a little bit left of center that might prompt another idea about what we want to put in our vision board. Okay. Well, here's a good one. It might be that we're on the fly here going, yeah, I want to be working at cafes. And then it's like, oh, Amsterdam, I've never been there. Maybe I should go there as part of my vision board. So we could then do a save, and on the fly, we can actually create a new vision board. So we can create a board down here. So let's do this and say holiday. Well, we could make it working holiday to Europe. Okay. And you might decide that you want to make that one secret and keep it. And then you've got that item saved there. Now, you might be focused at hand on the flexible work concept that we're focusing on with this exercise now. So you're not going to get distracted now by necessarily going back onto now my holiday for Europe. We're going to keep focused on this flexible work. So what else does flexible work mean? Well, what does it mean to you? So flexible work, let's see what comes up. Okay, how to work from home. That could be a good one. It might have some items in there that we could use. So let's save that in our flexible work. And you can see how it's disappeared because the last one we created was the other board. So pop that in and save. And again, it's prompting, there's some other information you might also like. And we'll go back to that feed because we want to keep exploring what is there. I don't know about that as flexible work, but who knows? Oh, look, it's even prompting what work you could do. Or work from home jobs. Maybe you don't know what it is that you want to do. So you're going to say, I'm going to put that in my Pinterest board. Okay. So I'm sure you're getting the idea of what it is that you can be doing for Pinterest and making use of it. And I love how at the top here, it gives you different options. So you might go, okay, I'm not going to splits, but we definitely want office. So flexible work office. Yep. Could be office space. So you're just basically adding keywords together until you find the things that you want. And you keep adding it in to your different either boards, a vision board itself that might have lots of different elements. So for example, one of the boards that I have done over the years as well in Pinterest is that you'll see that I've got letters. So let's have, numbers, not letters. Let's have a look for one of my boards. 8, because that represents boards called 8. I should find mine. No, I'll go back to my thing here. Oh, I've got 7. That'll be interesting to look at because that was to represent 2007, the different things that I collected. But you get the idea that there's all this, oh, look at that, love handles and muffin top. I obviously was trying to get fit this year and it worked until I had okonomiyaki in what do you call it, in Japan. I have to think about that. But, oh, yes, look at this. Just keep calm and watch old movies. I did watch a few old movies this year. Didn't get my tattoo done, though. I did see some nice beaches, but I didn't go to Bora Bora. But that doesn't mean that I wanted that when I looked at it. But I've had this board a while, so I might have thought that 2017 was going to be this. But maybe I've actually started doing 2027. You never know. Some of this might work for that. But you get the idea that in some respects, you can have your boards anyway. So I've got 7. We've got flexible work. We've got our Fridays boards. At this point in time, this exercise that I'm introducing you today to link us to the how and the why, the why and the what, is to start generating your thoughts to collect the data that you need to put in your vision board. That's the bottom line that's coming out of this exercise and this recording. That's what I want you to go away now and start to collate and bring together. So just to summarise, why have a vision board? I'm leaving the screen open on a Pinterest page showing you vision boards. So even going onto Pinterest and using the search function to look for vision boarding is going to give you some ideas and more reasons to do it if that's what you need. But we've explained why I've used them, how I've used them in the past or what I've achieved out of them. The different methods of creating them, gathering the information, getting your magazines, your inspirations from everyday life, whatever it is that you need, collating them on a corkboard, collecting them, having the elements there in front of you, formally sitting down and doing like we did in kindergarten, cutting things out of magazines, cutting particular aspects out. That's what we're going to be doing next. Putting it down on day 3, spending that time being mindful, spending that time collating and thinking about what it is that we want to achieve. So off you go, get stuck into Pinterest, pull together some bits and pieces from there, and next session we're going to be printing out various elements from Pinterest and creating our vision boards. Good luck.